Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. How are you doing, guys? How you all doing? It's Friday night, 9 o'clock, and we're here to look at PEP'S press conference and to preview again the derby. We'll chat about the derby, guys. Not so far away as the derby, so we'll have a quick chat about that. I'm just going to try and do a couple of things before we start. Let's see if anybody's coming online. Don't know if people have been watching the politics leaders chat. Hi, Chris. I'm all right, mate. I'm a bit tired, buddy. I was over in near Lincoln today working in a school, and I had to get up at 5:30 this morning. I went to bed about 1 o'clock, and it's about a 2-hour drive to get there and about 3 hours to come back on a Friday night, going across the M62 from Leeds. Nightmare, bit of a journey. I don't know why people drive so close and have accidents, and it knackers everybody else. Hi, Abhishek. Hope you're well, Abhishek. I'm just going to try, and just give me a second, guys. I'm just going to do something, and I'm just going to put this on. It might give a bit of a noise. Try, and just, there we go. Hey, the goons. Andy Pandy's goons are back. Hey. Andy Pandy and where's Luby Lou? Oh, these guys are so sad. Anyway, let's not worry about. Oops, let's have more options. I'm just going to do something. There you go, goons. No need to worry. What a sad, fat lump of lad that guy is. So I'm back, guys. Sorry, I'm just going to get some stuff off my chest because I'm tired and I'm sick and tired. Kuyo, yo, hey, yo, says Kuyo. What up, man? What up? Kamal, nice to have you in the house. Mark the Blue, hi, Mark. Hi, everybody. Can you believe that within 2 minutes I had 7 down ticks? I wonder where they came from. I wonder which 2 or 3 people did all that. Yeah, hi, Bernard. Hope you're well, Bernard. Oh, Bernard's here, so I better shut up. Better not say what I was going to say. Is that you? You're pretty confident for tomorrow, Kamal, or me? Look, it's been the same way for a few years. Although United have keepers, to be honest, we are a far better team. We're still a far better team, even though it's been a bit of a struggle this season at times. We are still a far better team, but you never know. Chris Welch, 3-2 to City. I'll take the win, but I don't want it to be that close. I really don't want it to be close at all. I don't want United to get a sniff, if truth be told. Don't want to get a sniff at all because don't like them. They still feel that sense of entitlement. And, you know, I'm not saying it because you're on, Chris, but it's a similar... that sense of entitlement. And right, that's a bit noisy. So I'm just copying the link onto Twitter. They still feel that sense of entitlement that Liverpool fans had for many, many years. That, you know, once they were not in it anymore, and once they were not anywhere near challenging, they still felt they had that sense of entitlement, and it's taken them years. A long time to get back to where they are, and you know, it's going to take United, I think, you know, we're talking at least 2 or 3 years minimum just to get anywhere back. I mean, it could take them 2 or 3 years just to get top 4. I mean, it could be done in one transfer window by a new manager, but I'm not so sure. Abhishek Pep was looking annoyed at times during the press conference. 3-4-1 says Bernard. Yeah, I've gone for 4-1. Kamal says, would you play the same team that played against Burnley? I'd be tempted to. Why would you change it? I don't think you need to change it. I think people deserve to keep their spots. The only one you might do, apparently, is Zinchenko is supposed to be fully fit. But we'll go through the press conference in a minute. Hey, Chris, no need to apologise, mate. You know, matches come first and life comes first. Abhishek's going for 2-2. Abhishek, tempted to put you in a timeout, Abhishek. I'm very tempted. We've got to be positive. We're going to stay positive. Right, guys, what I'm going to propose, we're 5 minutes in. I'm just going to go straight through the press conference and other information, and then I'll come back to you guys and we'll see. I mean, Pep once again with some short answers. So, to start off with, Pep was asked, is the derby still the biggest game of the season for fans? And Pep says, I don't know. I never asked them. It would be nice if you asked us, Pep. For you, it's an important game, a big rivalry. He also confirmed that there'd been no approach for Arteta. He hasn't spoken to him, but he wants him to stay. Okay, let's talk about a bit more about United. So how does Pep assess Solskjaer? How's he doing? Well, good. I'm not there to know. It's difficult for me to judge my colleagues. I don't know how they work. It's uncomfortable for me. I think he's an exceptional person, but I don't know. Does United's history matter? Normally, here we talk about what happened in the recent past and yesterday or the day before, but everything is changing. Tomorrow at 5:30, we start the game and the players decide who is going to win. Of course, the history is huge and they have quality players and you have to try to beat them. We start today to speak about how they are as a team and what we should do to beat them. What Gabby Jesus needs to do. Very strong message from Pep. He has to be himself. We need him and his goals. That's why we won the last game. We need him for his goals. And if he puts this idea in his head, he is able to do it every game. For all the players, confidence has to be there all the time, not just because of good or bad performances or winning or losing games. The greatest athletes all the time have a strong mentality that we all have to learn from. That is the key difference. They have to play. Otherwise, they will not be in a high level in the Premier League. They have quality and they can control it. They don't need their manager, mum, or friends to speak to them. They have to believe they are good enough. Wow, that was strong because Gabby's confidence a year ago was quite low. His mum and his friends came and spent some time around Christmas with him, and he started scoring goals again. But Pep's right. You know, you've got to be able to motivate yourself and get yourself going. Asking about injury news, Zinchenko has trained for the last few days with all the squad. He's ready, but in his physical condition, I don't know how many minutes he can play. So it sounds like he might start, by what Pep says. Obviously, Ilkay Gundogan is back from suspension. So that's basically most of the press conference. The rest of it, they have this embargo part of the press conference, and that embargo is lifted at 10:30 p.m. The idea is it gives the newspapers on Sunday something to talk about. If you didn't have the embargo, there'd be nothing for them. I don't see why we should care about the newspapers because they're ragtag operations, most of them, and they're not supportive of City. So I don't know why we bother. Just get all the information out there, get it all out at one go. Don't have a little bit of the press conference is held back. I don't see the point. Just reading some other stuff. Company brought down again, hamstring problem. Guardiola talking about Aguero. We are a good team with Sergio. We try to be a good team without. I didn't know, I was talking about a stat that City get more and better results when Aguero's not on the team. He said, I didn't know the stat. With Sergio, we score a lot and play incredibly. And without him, we try to do the same. Last year, we had no Kevin and tried to make a good season, but I prefer to have Kevin. We try without these players. Let's keep going. Talk about Mikel Arteta. So he opened up a bit to Sky when he was talking to them. He says, I'm not a guy that puts a gun to the heads of my staff or players and says what they have to do. We are human beings and everyone has dreams and desires. Hopefully he can stay this season and the next one as long as possible in this club. That would be my dream. But Mikel has his own life and I will never say what he has to do. I arrived here and we were in touch about working together, and the time we have spent together has been magnificent. I tried to help him and he has helped me a lot. He knows what I want and what the club wants. That was to Sky, so it wasn't from his press conference. And that's about it. There's not really that much else in that press conference. Let's see what you guys have got to say. Hey, nice to hear. Let me just scroll up, guys, and I will chat. Hi, Billy Mike, hope you're well. Kamal says, I think we'll have too much quality for them, especially with a brilliant atmosphere tomorrow. I think it will be. I think the City fans will be up for it. I can't say anything but a City win. Angus, hey, Angus, nice to have you on board. Cobby as well. Hi to you, Cobby. Angus has been like renting from Trainspotting. Davey Mack, hey, hi, Davey. Many will be the only change. I think Zinchenko doesn't have 90 minutes in him. Pep more or less said that. I'd be disappointed if Mendy's called back because he's just not the races. Hi Tom, Angelino Mendy to start. I'd go with Angelino. I'd be so disappointed with Mendy. I don't want to give him any more chances. He doesn't deserve it. I don't care now about the injury. We're here to win football matches. He's had 2 years messing about. Okay, he's been injured, but messing about social media and everything else. Focus on footy. That's it. Get yourself fit and work hard and learn to cross again. I don't know, Billy. I've never been to one, and I don't know how it works, Billy. But maybe you're right. Then that's giving the Sunday paper something. But I don't see, why we should give them much at all. I would much prefer Pep to give terse 1 or 2 word answers, get it out, and give them nothing. I'd rather he give them nothing because they don't give us much. They're slagging our players off so much and they're so negative about us. Colby, well, we've just been discussing the Pep's press conference. There's not really that much to it, to be honest. And then we're talking about tomorrow. Chris, I have to get up early for the Bournemouth game. 7-hour drive from. You're from Carlisle, aren't you? So yeah, it's a long old trek, Chris. What time's your game? It must be a 3 o'clock game. So you're gonna have to be up at even earlier than I was this morning, I guess. If it's a 3 o'clock game, you want to be aiming to get there before 2. So you're gonna leave home latest 7 in the morning, I guess. Wow. It is Bernard, but nothing's wrong. Mark the Blue, why would you want to go to a lesser team than the champions? Arteta. Look, if he wants to be a draw of Arsenal, obviously he played there, or even Everton, he played there as well. If he thinks Pep's going to stay longer, extend his contract, then I can see another reason why to leave, because if he wants to be the top man at a club, and Pep says, well, I'm going to stay in another year or 2, Arteta's going to be, he's going to be over 40 by the time he gets the #1 role. So I can see he's got to be interested. Chelsea fans need to be up early for the Everton as well. Wow, Billy Matt. Yeah, that's was it a 12:30 game? At least from Chelsea, you're looking at about 4 hours. It's not, it's bad enough. It's a 12:30 game. You're going to have to get out of the house at 11:30 latest. Still not great. Scott McTominay. Not worried about Scott McTominay. Condone to score, says Chris Welsh. He's got to get in the team. I don't see how we change much of that team, in all honesty. Walker, Fernandinho, Otamendi. I want a bit of physicality from Otamendi. Angelino, Rodri. I just don't see how you change that starting 11. Big Rob BOLFC. One player you can sign in Jan for City. Who are you buying? Well, I've said this before, mate. Big Rob. It's an issue as if we don't sell a non-homegrown player. We've already got 17 non-homegrown players, which is our maximum allowed in our squad. Unless we sell one or omit one from the squad, we can't get another non-homegrown player. okay, unless they're 21 and under. So Upamecano, we talked about last month. Matt Longford, bolt from the blue, has been shouting this guy's name apparently for a few months. So Upamecano's 21. He counts as, he wouldn't even be included in our squad. So he's an option. Kobe would rather have Stones. Fabian Ruiz is, I think is Fabian Ruiz, isn't he 20? How old's Fabian Ruiz? Is he more than, he's 22, 23? Or is that Ruben Diaz? Ruben Diaz is 22. So he, you know, we couldn't get him. Fabian, got to check this guy now, Fabian Diaz. All right, well, I don't know who this Fabian Diaz is. Fabian Diaz. Christian Fabian Diaz. It's not Christian Diaz, he's 43. So I can't find this Fabian Diaz. There's Ruben Diaz. Fabian Ruiz. Would help if I put the right name in. Fabian Ruiz is 23. So once again, unless we let someone go, we don't get a non-homegrown player. So that's the big issue. Ruben Diaz. Well, the thing is, Ruben Diaz is 22. Fabian Diaz is 23. So whichever one he meant, they're already over the age limit. So we'd have to either sell somebody or not include somebody in the squad. Now, if we sell Leroy Sané in January, fine, we have a space. Ruben Diaz is 22. Ruben, I checked it last week. He's 22 and he was born in May. So he would be included in your non-homegrown, and we haven't got the space. So unless we got rid of somebody like Otamendi decided to leave, or Leroy Sané left, or Leroy Sané was so injured that we just left him out of the squad because if they say, oh, you're not going to be back till April, for argument's sake, I think he's going to be back in February, January or February. But if he was not, if they said, oh, he suffered a breakdown or something, and he's not going to be ready till April, then we could just exclude him from the squad and get somebody else in. Chris, if we win tomorrow against Bournemouth, massive pressure on you lot going into Manchester Derby game. You have a 14-point lead. I expect. Oh, look, Chris, I expect you to win. I expect you to win the league. It's going to be extremely difficult for you guys to throw. Someone was asking me yesterday, a United fan, I was chatting with him, and I said it was done after 8 games. After 8 games, or probably even before that, I saw the way Liverpool were playing and winning games, and I saw the problems I saw in City. I didn't think we were going to win. I honestly didn't think we were going to win the league. Some people might think I'm being negative or pessimistic. I'm just being honest. I said we're not going to win this league. The only way we can get that, retain our trophy, is if Liverpool chuck it away. So there's a bit of a nuance, playing on words. I said we can't win it. Only Liverpool can throw it away. No, Big Rob, no problem with FFP. Trust me. Abhishek, yeah, Liverpool lost against United. United lifted themselves up, and Liverpool were happy enough with the draw in the end. Big Rob, you heard a rumour? No, we didn't buy Maguire because of FFP. Trust me. We dodged a bullet, but it's not FFP. Partly because if we'd got Maguire for 80 million, we'd have put him on a 5-year contract. Call it amortized. I'm going to tell you the numbers. Our amortization would have been 17. We wouldn't have paid him more than 200 grand a week. So Harry Maguire would cost us 27 million pounds a year. And our Puma deal is going to get us probably an extra 40 million quid a year. TV deal is going to get us an extra, the overseas element, it's at 12 or 13 million. So straight away, you're looking at over 50 million. Other bits and pieces. We just signed today, I believe, a training kick sponsorship with Marathon Bet. I have no idea what that's worth. But I would be surprised if we didn't get at least 60, 70 million pounds more next season in sponsorship and TV money and everything else. And when you work it all out, and if Harry Maguire would have cost us less than 30 million a year, so it's not a problem. I don't believe that, Big Rob. I don't believe that. First of all, okay, I don't believe Brian Kidd would be blabbing about that. And second of all, I don't know what Kiddo knows about FFP, but we're comfortable at the moment, absolutely comfortable. You know, and as I said, next season, I mean, we had turnover of 535 million this season. I suspect next season it'll be at least 560 to 580. Might even squeeze up to 600. Depends how well we do in the Champions League. If we go on and win the Champions League, yeah, you know, I honestly think we can get 580 to 600. It's Chris, it's scary we rested Salah Firmino Wednesday and still managed to score 5. Shaqiri and Origi. Shaqiri and Origi did their job, but Everton, they have got to be the worst team I've seen in the Premier League this season. Honestly, watching that, I watched most of that game. They were disgusting in defence. They were atrocious. How you can get beaten time and time again by a ball knocked over the top is unbelievable. Billy Mack says always maintain Liverpool will collapse without Fabinho. But yeah, but they didn't have Fabinho, Salah, and Firmino, and they still whacked Everton for 5. Angus, yeah, the Manchester Derby videos out. That was Col H's work. And thank you to Col H. Spencer Mark, good evening. Cobby, yes, we'll talk about the lineup. So a photographer from the Mail, he's a Man United fan who was asking the question. Still don't agree with it, Big Rob. I've just given you the numbers. I've just given you numbers to say that we're passing FFP comfortably. We've just got next season, we will get probably a minimum of 50 to 60 million pounds more. Okay, you know, and Harry Maguire would have cost us 30 million, less than 30 million a season in the profit and loss account, which is where it matters. So if we're getting 60 and it's costing us 30, you know, it doesn't make sense. The numbers don't add up. The numbers are in favour. Angus, Everton are a joke. Oh, it will be. Oh, 35 million quid they paid. This is where Everton's problem is. One of the problems. They got another chump of a manager, Marco Silva, who's done nothing. Got fired from Watford because he was sniffing around Everton. It's not really won out. Okay, I mean, he went down with Hull. They had Harry Maguire and Robertson, okay, in their defence, and they still went down. So maybe they were young, or maybe Marco Silva was rubbish. So they've got a chump of a manager, and they bought some chump players like Iwobi and paid top dollar, 35 million. They've got Sigurdsson for 50 million. There's some very, very poor managerial appointments and extremely poor player appointment, purchases as well for over the top money. Cobby's not happy with Otamendi. I need Otamendi ships off immediately. I don't think he'll stay beyond next summer. Spencer Mack, you didn't believe me, Ray, when I predicted Everton to go down at the start of the season. Did you say that? I did. See, the thing is, I thought there were plenty of worse teams than Everton. This is how bad I am at predictions. I said Newcastle will go down, and they might still go down, but they're doing a lot better than expected. Chris Welch, I couldn't believe how easy it was against Everton. Everton's defence were horrendous. Big Rob, next season means nothing. It was last season. You spent all the money, 75 Rod. But Big Rob, the money would appear in next year's accounts, okay? So it's got nothing to do with last season. It's got nought. all the purchases and everything else, all the amortization and the wages will appear in this year's accounts, because off the top of my head, our accounts were closed on the 30th of June. Okay. So on all these purchases, all the amortization of the contract costs, all the player wages go in this year's accounts. So that's what matters, this year's accounts. Okay, and that's this season and this year's accounts. So what we do this season, the extra supposedly 40, 50, 60 million quid we're going to get comfortably covers Harry Maguire, and it comfortably covers Angelino. So Angelino, I've got to ask you, Big Rob, did Brian Kidd tell you that Angelino was 20 million? Angelino was about 5 or 6 million quid. So, you know, there's no point putting numbers that don't exist. Rodri didn't cost 75 million. Rodri was in the books at 60. Okay? Cancelo was in the books at 60. And in fact, if you want, you can go and look at City's accounts, and it tells you, it gives some numbers for the summer spending. It's actually in the accounts. So your numbers are way out. You know, the numbers for, and in fact, Juventus actually give the Cancelo numbers. So it's Rodri 60, Cancelo was 60, Angelino was about 5 or 6. We sold Danilo, we put him in the books at about 35 million or something ridiculous. So no worries about that. Sigurdsson is truly awful. At least, Billy Mack, Iwobi was Bob. Basic accounting, I'm afraid. I know, Angus, I used to be an accountant, and I'm a chartered tax advisor, but I'm not the right person to help City with their accounting. They got far bigger brains than me. The reason we never bought a centre-back, they thought they could get by. They initially thought Otamendi was going, so they were looking to buy. Okay, and then Otamendi stayed because company left. Now they were looking at Maguire, and City have a cap as to how much they'll spend. They want to be self-sustaining. Okay, so spending 80 odd million on Maguire was too much. Spending 60 million on Maguire, that seems to be City's level. 60 million for Mahrez, 60 million for Cancelo, 60 million for Rodri. That seems to be the level that City want to pay, no more. Okay, so once Maguire's had gone up so high, and his wage demands were too high, that's the reason we didn't get Maguire. They thought they could get by with 3 centre-backs and Fernandinho. Okay, Fernandinho was retraining as a centre-back once we got Rodri. They thought they could get by with Emerick Laporte, Fernandinho, Otamendi, John Stones. That's 4 centre-backs. They also thought Eric Garcia would start to get more game time and he'd come through. So that's the reason. They threw it all together and said, we'll get by. And it was a get by decision. Fernandinho will come in. And in fact, Fernandinho is our number 1 now that Emerick Laporte's injured. If Emerick Laporte hadn't been injured, no problems. Absolutely no problem. It's just that we've lost our best centre-back. That's the problem. Pogba, well, when you look at it, Billy Mack, Pogba cost the 90 million that he's transfer, and I think United ended up paying another 20, 25 million for the agent's fee, for Mino Raiola's agent's fee. Now, that's all part of the cost. If they didn't buy Pogba, they wouldn't have had to pay Mino Raiola's agent's fee. So these days, transfer fees are not just merely transfer fees. You should really include the agent fee, because that's actually how much it's cost you to buy that player. He wanted a centre-back, Big Rob. That's why they were after Maguire. Once the price went too high, they said no. And in the end, they decided to retrain Fernandinho, and they thought they would get by. That's the truth. They thought they'd have enough. Good to have you back, Angus. Yeremina's Otamendi on wheels. Oh, rubbish. Keane and Hull get a worse. Wow. Have Everton got any good defenders? Absolutely, Spencer Mark. Big Rob, do you think Stones will ever get sold as he's awful and can't play to what Pep wants from his centre halves? Well, the thing is, the rumour was early part of the season was that City were looking to offer Stones a contract extension. Now, this is another way, not to get round FFP, but to decrease our expenses. And I'm not going to go into all the accounting stuff. But if you increase someone's contract, the life of their contract, then the amortization is spread over the life of the new contract. And that basically, just trust me, it decreases your expenses. Might only be by a few £1 million a year, but that's one of the reasons a few years back, City extended a lot of players' contracts by a bit too much. And for players you think, we don't really need these guys. And the reason was to decrease the amortization, and it can save you 15 or 20 million a year on your in your books, and that's why they did it. So, if the rumor is right that they wanted to extend Stone's contract, I don't think he'll get sold. But he won't be number one. Number one is going to be Aymeric Laporte. When Aymeric Laporte's back, number two is going to be Fernandinho. And I think we're going to get somebody probably next summer, maybe in January, but probably next summer, who'll be challenging Laporte as number one. I think that's got to be the idea. Everton and Moyes. No one would be scared. Yeah, Moyes isn't going to take Everton anyway. He might keep them up, but that's it. Laporte update. Hi, Zizou, hope you're well. Laporte said he was going to be 6 to 8 weeks, I think. And that was beginning of December. So we're looking at middle of January to the end of January to be fit. It doesn't say that's match fit, but fit. Spencer Mark, I've got to agree, Stones is not an awful player, but confidence is a huge factor in his game. I was listening to, I can't remember who was talking today. Was it a manager? And they were talking about confidence. Yeah. Freddie Lundberg actually was talking about confidence, and he said the player's confidence is low. That's a big problem. Confidence can make or break a player. Cobby says, we really need to reevaluate that new Stones contract. If he doesn't improve now and the end of the season needs to go, and only keeping a player who's never going to make the grade. The thing is, Cobby, I think Stones, when he was playing with the company, fine. When he's playing with Laporte, fine. When he's not good. That's the problem. Let's do Walker right back, Otamendi centre back with Fernandinho, Angelino left back, Rodri as a DM or holding midfielder. Has to be KDB and David Silva in front of him. And up front, Bernardo, Jesus, and Raheem Sterling. Angus, I hope we can win another match. Absolutely. Hi, Edward. I think he's gone out. I think he sent me a message earlier that he was going out, so not in the house today. He's a busy man. We've all got lives as well. I'm fortunate enough that even though I've been out all day, I still have enough to get on this stream. But we haven't all got spare time. Well, you better hope City go over what they are willing to be as centre halves. So I agree with Big Rob. Centre halves aren't cheap, but it just depends who you get when you get them. The rumour was that if we were going for Nathan Ake last summer, at the beginning of the summer, he was 40 million. But once Maguire had left to Leicester, his price had gone up to 80 million. Because, they thought if Leicester come knocking, we're going to make sure, or at least 60 million, we're going to get good money out of him. But there are potentially other good centre-backs out there that aren't too expensive. That's Soyuncu. Okay, he might be 60 million now, but he wasn't a year or two ago. So there are players out there. That's the issue. Gundogan on the bench here, Spencer Mack. I'd have him on the bench. But Pep, being Pep, I know. See it that way. Cobby says no Otamendi can't stand seeing his snail pace. We'll see. Abhishek says we need at least 2 centre-backs in January and June combined. I think Eric Garcia will come through, Abhishek. I think we need to get 1, but I think Eric Garcia will come through. Family life comes first. I think so. I don't think business comes first, Edward. You got to balance it. You got to balance it, but family, for me, family comes first before business. Not every time. It all depends on the business and the family issues. Cobby says, give me Sernchu right now, please, with Stones as back or Otamendi off. It's not going to happen straight away, Cobby. You have to be patient. United won't be easy tomorrow. They will up for the game. Absolutely expensive. Look, United's, the fact is United beat Spurs. They beat the team that Mourinho brought back. Yeah. So, that's going to play a big part. It's going to give them, it's definitely going to give them confidence. It has to give them a whole very good level of confidence. Does it take them into arrogance? I don't know. But you got to look at their form. They've won 2 out of the last 4. They haven't lost for 5 games. It's not too bad. So it's not terrible form. And look, we've only won 3 out of the last 5. They've won 2. It's not a massive difference. And in fact, the difference between City and United is we've won 3 and drawn 1. They've won 2 and drawn 2. So, the recent form isn't massively different. Edward, will I watch AJ versus Ruiz? Nah, I'm not bothered, Edward, to be honest. I used to watch a lot of boxing when I was younger, but I'm not bothered now, honestly. Mike Tyson, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, bits and pieces after that, but not massively interested now. And if AJ loses, he'll walk away with his 60 million quid, and he could well retire, because there's nothing left for him after that except just fighting for money, which is what he's doing now. They're all at it. They're all after the money. Look, what's his name? Tyson Fury was supposed to get, was it 10 or 12 million quid for going for this WWE in Saudi Arabia? So they're just going for money. So it could easily be that if AJ loses, he'll pocket the 60 million and he could fight again and get another 20 million. He's still a big draw, but that draw will decrease really quickly unless he goes for a fight against Tyson Fury, a fight against Wilder, and a couple of other decent people out there who are good draw. They could all swerve him now. If he loses, they can all swerve him and he's gone. Spuds were awful, absolutely. Spencer Mark, Jesus has his mojo back. Well, he's got 2 cracking goals. So let's hope so. Zizou saying, Marche pour le magicien. You mean our good friend Mahrez? I'll be surprised if Mahrez starts, to be honest. Tom T, that Burnley performance needed to happen a while ago now. That Liverpool side won't drop more than 12 points this season. They have more depth than I thought. Without 6 starters the other day, absolutely. Age is a bit like IPL media loving. Yeah, Spencer Matt. Look, age is a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype. How good is it? We're going to find out in the next. If he beats Ruiz, who's he going to fight next? Within sometime next year, he'll fight either Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. He'll fight someone decent next year. But the problem with AJ is he's been dodging them. Okay, he's dodged them because fighting Ruiz, you can pick up at least 20 million for the first fight. I have no idea what the first fight was, but I suspect it was at least 20 million. He can pick up what he thought would be easy money. He thought it'd be easy money. This fight's now getting him at 60 odd million. So he can go around avoiding people, and which is what he's done. Avoiding the difficult fights, because he knows when he loses a big fight, and if he loses it badly to someone like Deontay Wilder, to someone like Tyson Fury, then his stock is going to fall rapidly. So he's hoovering up bits and pieces of money now for when his stock does fall. And that might be against Ruiz. Billy Max says, do I like Alan Shearer as a pundit? So. So Billy. He's a bit boring for me. Hey, Brad, hope you're well, Brad. Spencer Mack, he was given the gold medal at London Olympics. He lost that fight. There you go. AJ scared of Wilder and Fury. Absolutely, Chris Wells. Absolutely. I think if Wilder lands one on AJ, he's gone. I think Wilder can hit him so hard that he'll be gone. And Fury can outbox him. So why is he running? Why is he hiding? Because he wants to keep making his money. He wants his legacy. That's why he fought Ruiz. That's why even if he'd beaten Ruiz, he'd have still, I think, dodged Wilder and Fury. You know, and I think if he does beat Ruiz, this is the thing. His next fight, he'll go for 100 million. He's getting 6 million now. Next fight, if he fights someone like Wilder or Fury, he'll go for 100 million. And then he might look at it and say it's worth taking one of them on and losing for 100 million quid. AJ scarred by against Ruiz, says Spencer Mark. The Gypsy King is the main man. I think so. Yep, AJ's too much about the money. For me, Fury, obviously, he beat Wilder. He's comfortably beat Wilder. And that was a sham, a cheat. And it was a way to have another fight and to create interest. And you got to ask yourself, why are there so many draws in boxing? So many draws. In the old days, I don't remember there being so many draws. We were shocked, absolutely shocked when it was a draw. Now I'm shocked if it isn't a draw. It's all about the money. It's all set up. It's all rubbish. Well, I can't argue with Spencer Mark. Billy Mack Ruiz has put on a weight. Yeah, he's put on another stone. He's 20 stone. But we'll see. You know, it's not all fat. It's not all fat. And with his fast hand speed, maybe he can do the business again. You know, from AJ's point of view, you'd hope he's learned. But I hope Ruiz knocks him out good and proper. Because yeah, AJ's all. I mean, look, he's entitled to go for fight for the money, but he's dodging fights for the money. He's dodging the big ones for his legacy. You know, was he dodging the fights hoping that, you know, Fury or Wilder would lose to some no-hoper, and then AJ could say, "Well, I don't need to fight them because, you know, they're not on my horizon. They're not on my radar." Sorry, guys, that's my dishwasher. Tom T, you have to knock the opponent out in their backyards now with how biased the judges are. That's why that points against Klitschko was so impressive in Germany for Tyson. Absolutely. AJ stopping taking the PEP'S. I'm not sure about that. Spencer Mack. Angus, I hope we can make a difference and still be better than United. I hope so. Tom T says, easy win for AJ. Chris Welch, Ruiz was underestimated in the first fight and he made AJ look a fool. But I think he surprised AJ. AJ took it easy, okay? But I think his speed and his power surprised AJ, or it rocked him. There was something up. Tom T, I'm just not sure who's dodging. Deontay did for years. They're all dodging. You know, I think even Fury dodges. He had that Wilder fight. It's got him back in the limelight, and then he's fought a nobody, and then he's gone off to WWE. They're all trying to make decent have decent paydays before the big one. AJ's a glass Jenny's Frank Bruno instead, says Spencer Mark. Right, guys, that's 45 minutes up. I want a good night's sleep. I've got to be up early. I want to go out for a run down the gym tomorrow. Missed the gym today because I was out working, and so I want to get out and get ready for the derby. I've got a busy day. Got loads of people to meet tomorrow. I'm not sure I've got enough time, but we'll see how it goes. Cheers, guys. You have good evenings. Have good weekends. Fingers crossed for City. Safe trip to you, Chris Welch, tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for getting involved. And catch you tomorrow. Cheers, guys.